Hey everybody, Matt from Holland Vols Adventures. Wanted to chat with you today about some upgrades I've made to the Tundra. This is a 2004 double cab limited 4-wheel drive. It is currently our family's hauler slash adventure vehicle slash do it all slash take the kids to school, you name it, this truck does it for me. But to make it do those things better, I've been making some updates and upgrades over the last few months. And before I chatted with you about them, I wanted to kind of live with them for a while and make sure that that kind of met my expectations. You know, what are the positives, negatives, all that kind of stuff. Again, just a reminder, I'm not a paid YouTuber. Companies don't send me these things. So the great thing for you is that when I use them, you get an honest opinion and not a paid endorsement. So one of the first things I did was ditch the factory radio, which, let's face it, a little dated in a close to 20-year-old truck. I installed a Sony unit with Apple CarPlay, backup camera capability, all that good stuff. I installed a backup camera, which is a great little unit I got off Amazon. It actually locates in place of the factory tailgate latch. So you remove the factory unit, install the unit with the camera built in, and I have to say it's been a great upgrade, especially backing up to the travel trailer and the boat trailer and all that type of stuff. My only gripes on the radio, and off the top of my head I don't remember the model number, but really my only gripe on it, which I'll put that in the description by the way, but my only gripe is the fact that the anti-glare screen in the sun is pretty much anti-view. So especially if I've got my polarized sunglasses on, it's almost impossible to see the thing when the sun is even remotely in the direction of the faceplate. And it's mainly because in a Tundra it sits completely straight up and down. There is no tilt to this thing whatsoever. But outside of that, sound quality, usability, functionality is all great. I purchased it through Crutchfield, which I highly recommend. I'm not a audiophile. I'm not somebody that has installed a million car systems. I know enough to get around one, and the nice thing about Crutchfield is they do make it easy. You know, you pick out the kit, the radio, they supply everything that you need. Their support's actually really good. I did run into one question I had on this one when I was installing it, and they were quick to respond. So that experience went very good. So beyond the radio and the backup camera, I also installed a backflip tonneau cover. When I first got this truck from my dad, who bought it new, he had put a ARE hard shell tonneau on it basically right when he bought it. And I have to say it's held up great, other than having to replace the gas struts a few months, or actually 2 years ago, and I had to replace one piece of weather stripping. It's been solid, but it really doesn't give you very much functionality. I mean, I've never really liked having to open it to haul stuff and have it sitting open. I thought that was way too much stress on it. It was a pain in the butt to remove it if I needed to carry something bigger. So I just needed something that offered a little bit more functionality. So I replaced that with a tri-fold backflip. More about that later. I also needed something that allowed us to carry kayaks and other gear when we're traveling with the travel trailer. So in addition to the backflip, I also installed a Truxedo Elevate rack system, which comes with a set of bed rails and upright racks that are adjustable forward and back, as well as up and down. And I'll go into a little bit more detail on that here in a few minutes. I installed I believe it's a Randy Ellis, again, I'll have to check the name, I'll put it in the description, light bar. One of the things that I do often need in this truck is a little bit of auxiliary lighting, whether it's when we're getting to a lake campsite, or if I'm exploring a fishing area for flash fishing and I may be trying to get there super early, it's kind of nice to have something that kind of cuts the fog a little better than the factory fog lights. I didn't really like the big 3-inch bull bar, light bar type things that are out there for this truck. I wanted something a little bit more sleek, and I came across this piece that's a smaller tubing. It fits closer to the bumper. It offers provisions for lights, and in addition to that, I added a set of Hella LED driving lamps with amber fog light covers, which have been fantastic. Again, very happy with those. Really happy with the light bar. I'll kind of go around some of the details of it here in a few minutes. And then let's see what else. Oh, I have leather in this truck, which has held up very well for 20-year-old Toyota leather, which, if you know anything about Toyotas, they usually crack. But I did want to protect them, since we're in and out with all sorts of dirt and mud and kid stuff and everything else. So I actually put a set of wet Ocoee seat covers in the truck. I've only had these in here for about a month. The fit was very good. The materials are very good. The heated seats work through them, which is good. But we'll see how they last long term. But for the time I've had them, been really happy. So while I've stopped, let's walk around. I'll show you some of the features of the things I've installed. So we'll start out with the light bar. Again, I believe this is a Randy Ellis design. Comes with 3 tabs. It mounts very securely in place of where the factory tow hooks mount, and it is sturdy. There is no shake in this thing going down the road with the lights on. It's fantastic. As you can see, I've got the Hellas mounted, and again, been pretty happy with it. My only gripe, there's a couple spots where there's just a hint of a little surface rust coming through, so I need to touch those up. But other than that, I think the powder coat's pretty good. Haven't had any issues out of that. Going to the back, here's our back flip. This is the G2 model. Overall, I've been happy with it. One thing I will say is the installation was a pain in the ass with the rails mounted. Everything was really tight. It took a lot of finagling to get this thing lined up side to side and front to back with these, which is interesting because when I looked at the online information on the Truxedo Elevate, it mentioned specifically that it works with this tonneau cover. So it works, but the tolerances are really tight. Here's the Truxedo rack. You can see it comes with these rails. You've got tie downs. The racks themselves, you can move them forward and aft. And then here, if you remove these two, this actually goes up and mounts into 2 different positions here. So you have what's basically a little, almost cab height, but then when they're fully extended, it sits quite a few inches higher. On those racks, I've got some Thule Hullaport Aero racks, which these I love. Flip down this, a rack flips up for use, and then once again you flip that and it pulls down. I did put in between the mount, because these mount in the channels I did put some weather stripping in here to fill that gap to keep some wind whistling, but they've been really quiet. So again, this is the Backflip G2 and the Truxedo Elevate rack. And so far, I've been really happy with both of them, other than just that bear of initially getting them installed. So here's the Sony head unit. And again, with the exception of the anti-glare issue, I've been pretty happy with this one. Again, I'll grab the model number and everything and put it in the description, because I'm sorry I don't remember that right off the top of my head. But it has pretty much all the functionality you would expect today, you know, with the Apple CarPlay options. And you can see in reverse, there's my backup camera. You can't see it right now, but when the trailer hitch is in there, the drawbar, it's the perfect angle for looking kind of down towards the drawbar where you can align it with your trailer. Let's go back here and I'll show you where the camera mounts. There's the backup camera. See it right there. And this is just a replacement handle. You take the old one out, put this one in, run the wiring, run the cable up to the cab, and you're good. Then last but not least, the seat covers. I didn't opt to get any of the embroidery in the headrest. I just kind of like them blank. But they have provisions for the power seats. Like I said, it's a good, nice, thick neoprene material, and the fit was very good. Comes with your armrest covers, headrest covers, back and bottoms. A couple other things I've done, because I do have a travel trailer. I have installed a Reese brake controller, and actually I mounted that in this perfect little cubby area under the dash. Ran the cabling through there. Utilized the factory pigtail, which is great. I also added this ProFit mount. You take this panel off and it mounts up behind it. And I've added a RAM mount with a quad lock clip that I use for my phone case, which is about as sturdy as you can get. Again, really happy with that. So as you can see, been fairly busy with the upgrades. Overall, been happy with everything. I'll list part numbers in the description for what I've got. I will say, when it comes to racks and tonneau covers, there is not a lot out there for the double cab. It's kind of a bastard bed length. They only made it for 3 years, 04, 05, and 06. And if you know anything about the aftermarket world, they're only going to invest money in R&D that's going to give them a good return on that investment. And there just aren't enough of these trucks on the road in mass numbers to really justify making a lot of the stuff we see every day for this specific truck. So trust me, I've looked at everything, and your options are kind of limited if you want a rack system and a tonneau. Now, you can probably modify something or have somebody make something, but I didn't really want to get into that. I wanted to get something that I could buy off the shelf, so if I ever had problems with it, I could get parts for it. And again, like I said, aside from the installation challenge, the backflip's been great, and I've really been happy with the rack. So I would highly recommend those if you have a Tundra double cab and you're looking for something like that. I've definitely got some plans, some additional plans for this truck that I would like to do. I haven't decided if I'm going to level it yet. We tow our travel trailer quite a bit, and the factory rake when the trailer's on the hitch is perfect. So if I level it, I'm going to kind of have that nose in the sky routine a little bit. I'm not overloaded. I'm well within spec on the tongue weight. It's just when that trailer's on there, it's basically exactly where I would want to ride it. I do have a weight distribution hitch. And going down the highway, this truck pulls that travel trailer great. It's a Forest River, gosh, what is it? It's a 179 DBK, I think. So it's the, a bunkhouse type travel trailer. Doesn't weigh very much. It's kind of in the ballpark for this truck, which these are not power hounds, so I can't get something crazy big, and we honestly don't need it. We actually were fine with a pop-up for several years until we decided to make the move to a more significant travel trailer. So, but I do have some plans for maybe some wheels. I would like to maybe get a set of TRD black rims for this truck. Go up in tire size just slightly, because I am going to need tires here soon. So I'm kind of keeping an eye out for some TRD wheels. But other than that, I'm just kind of enjoying this truck. I've got 130-ish thousand miles on it, so it's just now getting broke in, as they say. Although I did have to do an O2 sensor today, which apparently has done the trick because the cell has not come back on. Anyway, hope everybody's doing well, and I will keep you updated as we do additional things to the truck, and we'll see you on the next video.